So like you think back, okay, the 10 pillars of lasting weight loss, one of the best investments you can do for maintaining healthy weight is just focusing on optimizing health, right? The top four that we always talk about is nutrition, weightlifting, fasting, and then supplements. But stress and sleep still come into play. And if maybe we didn't pay as much attention to those in the beginning parts, we can start paying more attention to those pillars as we progress and move forward. And you can do it in sections in your life, right? Like this month is going to be all about stress. This month's going to be all about inflammation. This month's going to be all about sleep. Like the more and more you invest in those pillars, even if it's one at a time, the easier it becomes to your body to just automatically maintain a healthier weight. This is preventative health, is just focusing on these strategies. Melissa, why don't we start with where you're at?
I think everything's going great. This is the lowest weight I've been since over 10 years. And so like I've tried everything from keto diets and everything where I would lose maybe 10 pounds but gain it back. And it wasn't really much of a change. And so this program has been really good for me. It's just lately I've had vacations and a family. And so I haven't been able to do my fasting for the past, I would say 3 weeks or so,
Yeah.
2 weeks, but I didn't gain too much. I gained within a half a pound, I think, between that time period. And so I did pick up, like, I hopped on one of your calls and I think I felt very convicted that I wasn't working out as consistent, like weight training. So I've been hitting the gym, but I do have to take it easy because I just got a steroid shot in my shoulder. So I have to take a couple days rest and then I'll be back at it, but I'm feeling great. Yeah, so I guess for me, I'm where I wanted to be when I started the program. Like I wanted to get back to 145, but as I've now like am close to that point, I think I want to keep going further. I think
Yeah.
for me, it was like a short-term goal. Like, let me make it to 145 first, because I've never been there in 10 years. And
Yeah.
then if I do hit that goal, then I could hit my ultimate goal, which is really like 135. Um, but yeah, I do feel great. Definitely feel like it's a sustainable program. Uh, the fasting hasn't been too bad for me. Thankfully, I think on the second day normally is the hardest, and so I always have to escape. I lock myself in the bedroom during dinner time, and I'm like, so I just told my husband, I was like, listen, I got to make it to dinner, to after dinner, so I
Right.
can't be around food right now. So that's been where I've been when I hit in my 48-hour fasting goal.
Nice. And remember, it's going to be nice when it's not a weekly thing, right? Like then it becomes a whole different beast. And then we're talking once a month, maybe more often if you're not really dialing everything else in. But truthfully, if you have everything else dialed in, you're intermittent fasting, you're weight training a couple times a week, you're eating relatively good 3/4 of the time. Yeah, just
Yeah.
you could not do the 48-hour fast and probably good for quite some time, but
Mm.
you'll start to see, most likely you'll start slipping a little bit, and it's just like that 48 is just like a real powerful boom, puts the system back any little regression it made for the whole month, and then bam, that really is a ticket to keeping your body optimized as much as possible, so you don't have to do this whole other thing of what you did now and restart it. Now we want to stay optimal, we want to stay healthy as much as
Mm-hmm.
possible. Okay, so for basically you, now that we've gotten
Mm-hmm.
to your original goal, you're thinking you want to move it up and continue to drop some more body fat, it sounds like.
Correct. Yeah. I guess although I've hit my weight goal, I haven't hit more of my physique goal. And I noticed the difference, like just in sizes of clothes. And so I was like, my ultimate goal is to get to how I feel in clothes. And I think when I was around this weight about 10 years ago, I was a little slimmer. And so that's why I'm like, okay, I'm not where I want to be when it comes to like physically. Although the scale is close, it's not like how I want to look in clothes and how I want to feel. I want to continue on the path for, I think maybe another 10 pounds would be ideal. I haven't upped the trizepatide dosage, so I've stayed the same at yep, 2.5 the whole time. And I actually I've been intermittent fasting on outside of the 48-hour stage, and I did have, what is that, the Unicity program, but I stopped taking the fiber because I wasn't getting enough calories in. So me
Mm,
being fuller, I was like, I'm not eating enough, and I didn't want to plateau. So I started to just, okay, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm get my calories in more so than making sure I'm fasting. I was going back through a lot of your videos on TikTok and everything. I'm like, okay, I just need to make sure I'm getting my calories in so I don't hit a plateau. And so that was my main focus during that time.
100%. So we're going to talk a little bit individually to each of you, and then we'll end off with some general concepts. But yeah, basically, in a nutshell, we have more fat loss, is what you're saying now. So
Mm-hmm.
keep writing the protocol exactly the way it is, making sure every month you're switching up your 48-hour fast to something different, making sure you're hitting your protein goals and your calorie goals on the other days. And like you heard me say, it does become a little bit, it depends, right? If you're looking at your body and you're going, okay, I'm happy with the amount of muscle mass I have right now, but I really have 10 pounds of solid fat I want to lose, then you can still use the scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? But once you
Yeah.
get to that point where it really does become, okay, now I want to start building muscle mass, that's where obviously weight becomes a little bit trickier to use
Yeah.
as a gauge. So I would still start taking pictures though right now, just because we are
Okay.
getting closer to every 2 weeks. If you do front, side, and back pictures, your significant other can do that for you and just put them somewhere, either create an album or something. It really does
Okay.
help because even your partner looks at you every day. So it's trickier for
Yeah.
both of you to be objective. Clothes help, but pictures can
Yeah.
absolutely help too as well.
Yeah.
And
My friend that I haven't seen in months, she was like, there was a dress that I wore when we were on vacation together. She's, oh my gosh, when you wore that like last year, it was tight on you and now you're swimming in it. And I was
yeah,
like, oh yeah, I didn't realize. But yeah, I'm happy with the progress. And I'm actually a little sad that AOD is off the market because I really think between the fasting and the AOD help mobilizing the fat, like I really feel like that's really what helped me. Um,
AOD, we still have it, by the way. We still
oh,
have it.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
AOD we still have. Originally, the compounding pharmacist told me it was going to be gone much sooner. They're still right. They're like, hey, until the FDA tells us to stop, because it's not on us. We're fine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
between the compounding pharmacy and the FDA. And
Yeah.
the guy
The
was like, look,
regulations.
yeah, the guy was like, look, it's going to be a while before they tell us to stop. So
Oh,
we're good.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because I started to stop taking it regularly because then I was like, oh my gosh, I only have so many left. So then I was like, maybe I'll just do it on my fasting days and I'll maximize my fasting days. And so I was like, you know, trying to maximize my AOD
it
consumption.
really does. No, it really does. It's most valuable on fasting days. I will always take it
Yeah.
on long fasting days in the future. Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. And then we're going to come back to general kind of moving forward. So,
Okay.
Sammy, tell me about where we're at. You've lost 17 pounds. I know you've been trying to get back on track since you got back from Mexico. So talk to
Yeah,
me. Where are we at?
I mean, that was 2 months ago. So my stomach went crazy.
Yeah.
I finally got back on track and I definitely saw a dip in my weight in the past couple weeks. I'm starting up again. Pretty good
Yeah.
on the eating. It's just getting to the gym for me, which I know for me, that's when my body changes the most.
Yeah.
So I still have what, like 15, 17 pounds to go. And I know it's going to be much harder. That last little push.
Why do you
That
say
like
that?
last, it's always the last 10 pounds that are so hard. This has
Yeah.
not come off very easily at all
Yeah.
for me. And I believe it's just because I haven't been consistent in the gym and I don't eat enough. And not for not being hungry, just with my two kids, like it's just like really hard for me to prep and always have enough protein on hand. That's just a challenge for me. So I've been batch cooking lunch
Yeah.
so that I have it, and that's helping me a lot. And I struggle in the summer a lot because all I want to eat is fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too much or still not good.
With where you're at, I'm okay with having some fruit in your diet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, significantly better than a lot of other sweet foods out there. And so, no, I'm totally okay. You're in the stage now where you can have some carbohydrates in your diet, you can have some fruit, and unless your results just aren't budging and we're trying to debug it, then maybe going back to super low carb would be an option. But
Go back to like crazy carbs. But I was gonna ask you or say now that I'm more consistent in the gym and I actually have a routine going on, that if I could start carb cycling a little bit more. just because honestly, for me, like food is the biggest issue. I'm a huge eater, food lover. And yeah, I know that I'm not hitting my calories every day. So I was going to ask you if now that I'm hitting the gym, if I could carb load just so I could also get more calories.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only ways that like I was saying, that this is what we want to be doing at that 2 to 4 month mark is reintroducing carbs on a weekly basis is still moderate, whether that's like a cycling. Yeah, absolutely. And unless the only time I would remove it is if you're not getting results and we're trying to debug the list. So absolutely, especially if you think you're not eating enough either, I would say go ahead and start giving yourself some carbs, some fruit. Obviously, what the healthier category of carbohydrates are.
Yeah.
Stick with that. Keep your weekly weigh-ins going in. And if you're not budging, if you're not moving, that's when we go down the list of where are you at and we start debugging things.
I mean, I wasn't budging for the whole summer after I got back from Mexico. And I'm not really sure what happened. I went in for the gamut of tests and everything seems fine. And
So for the last several weeks, you still haven't lost anything?
I started moving again.
Okay.
I lost almost 3 pounds last week, so I'm happy. And last week was like the first week I was like, I joined the gym.
Dialed yourself back in. Yeah. So it sounds like you know what you got to do. You're not.
I do. I mean, I have the same problem that I had at the beginning, which is even like on the tirzepatide, I want to eat. It's just my brain is hyper focused on food at all times. So I'm always thinking about, oh my God, when the fast is over, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna have this. And I wish that chatter wasn't so strong, but I know that's my biggest hurdle in all of this, especially going off. I didn't do any meds for, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks after Mexico. I went off everything, even AOD. And I didn't gain. I still was hovering around the 160 mark. So that's fine. Like I was happy that I didn't gain. And I wasn't eating the best. I was still intermittent fasting, but I wasn't making the best choices. So yeah, that's just the struggle that I always feel that it's up to me to I'm in charge of the food. I get to choose what's in the house.
Exactly. So do you feel like you have your plan? You know what you're doing for the next month or two? Like, where could I be of assistance for you?
So this week I have one more vial of tirzepatide left. And I've actually just started doubling up on my AOD on long fast days.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, how can I best utilize this last bottle of tirzepatide to maybe get 10 pounds off and really do this. I did a big dose. I just finished my bottle this week. I did 50, I only did it once the last bottles I had. So I pretty much stayed at 25, but I always put 30 in. So 30. So I had no problem being at 30. I just thought maybe I could, per your call on Friday, I was like, let me just see if this kicks it up at all.
Yeah, like we talked about on Friday, you can always try to see lower dose and see how you do. And it all comes down to, are the results still coming and are you still implementing the protocol? That's the two things. If you could do that off of a lower dose, go for it.
I struggle with 48 hours, like big time. And I usually for the most part, I make it, but there's a couple weeks that I'll get short. I don't drink enough water, like full stop. And I think that's a huge problem.
Absolutely. Hydration is extremely huge. Do you try leaving water throughout your,
giant cups everywhere?
Good.
But when you're running around after kids, it's just a lot.
Yeah, totally. So do you feel like you're saying you don't make it through the 48-hour fasting, or just saying sometimes?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Wicked headache or nausea. And I'm just like, this isn't worth it for an extra 4 hours or whatever it is. I'll be like, I'm going to eat so I don't.
Yeah, if you're making it that close to it, I wouldn't stress about it. There's something about trying to hit the goal and hit 48 every time. But yeah, if you have to end it a few hours early because you feel better, that's okay. I think I'd be curious to see how your body does when you start introducing more carbs. That might give you more variety and that might help satisfy maybe some of the sweet cravings too as well, if some of that's going on, because fruit is freaking delicious. You can make it a thing to go out and find some really cool fruit. My girlfriend takes me to H Mart and all the different, getting all the, I love all the special fruits that we can find there, and they're delicious. And I'd much rather you have some of that. And like I said, if we need to be clamping it down because the results stop, which I would doubt to what the progress you're making, then we will.
Yeah. And also like fibers water and fiber is, I don't want to get it too into it because it's embarrassing, but I need more fiber.
Yeah.
I actually couldn't work out last week because I had something happen and my doctor was like, you can't lift heavy right now.
Yeah.
So
Have you tried the fiber supplement that I like, or do you have your own fiber supplement, or?
I was gonna ask you about that too. I do the balance, which I can't stand. It's disgusting. At least the orange flavor is. And I take so many freaking supplements. And my doctor was like, you need to take magnesium for time being, but I don't know how to fit that into my fasting schedule. It's a little hard to do that. So I don't know what your fiber supplement is.
It's
Okay, I'll
Unicity
pull it up.
Live. Yeah, it's
Oh,
Unicity Live Fiber. It's different than
yeah,
the
no.
balance. The balance is just more of an appetite suppressant. The Live Fiber is more of a broad spectrum fiber product.
Oh, okay.
I'm
And
okay with you taking a scoop of that in the morning. That's fine.
and that's not fast breaking.
In the context of needing the fiber, remember, fiber is its own category where it, for the most part, that's fine throughout your fasting windows, especially if you need the fiber.
Yeah,
So.
I do. And that's why I also like fruit, because it's like an easy way to get some extra fiber. And I eat it veggies, but yeah, and I'm not probably have to drink water too. Come on, let's talk. But yeah, it's just weight doesn't fall off me. That's all. I just have to be patient.
But you said you just lost 3 last week, though.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. I'm breaking my fast tonight. I know, but I don't know. I'm still like waiting for that one huge week, but it's not gonna happen.
3 in a week is really good. What are you complaining about? I got people losing much slower than that, and they're appreciative of that. I think you just need to take a deep breath and just execute on what's in front of you. And let's not create a problem that's not there, is what I want to say, which in the nicest way. But yeah, we're going to be here to guide you. And
nice.
I think, and we'll keep moving forward.
Yeah, so I'm slowly losing it right now. It's slowed down a little bit since I stopped fasting, doing the 24 and 48-hour fast, just because my hormones tanked.
Yeah, I see that you went through definitely some stuff there.
I'm just stressed. So I think, but it's still going down. It's just a lot slower than when I was fasting. So that's fine.
Are you through that stuff?
Yeah, I guess so. Like I said, I just had blood work done and all my hormones are on the low side. So I'm getting some supplementation there. So that's supposed to come in this week. And then hopefully that'll help me feel a little bit more energetic. So my testosterone tanked and my estrogen tanked. So
yeah, is that because
I don't know if it's just stress / the fasting added stress, or if it's just where I am in Perry. I don't know.
Okay, so fasting as a peri or premenopausal woman, you just have to be aware, which I've taught you guys during day 13, 15, day 18, 28. That wouldn't make any sort of permanent drop in your hormones. It would just basically, you feel like shit during that cycle and you just don't do it and you're fine. Yeah. And then as soon as you get through that, you're fine. So if
you are enjoying watching these clips from my coaching calls and my community, guys, I have thousands of like-minded individuals who are kicking ass. Click that link. I'll put it in the description of the video where you can set up a free consultation to discuss exactly how my individuals are achieving lasting weight loss utilizing microdosing and intermittent use protocols. Now, back to the video.
If this is like an ongoing thing, that's definitely not the fasting. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What do you think?
No, I've had blood work done, so it's every 3 months. I don't know if it's, like I said, it could have just been the stress from like the hurricane and all the damage and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Is there some logical stuff that happened in your life? It sounds like.
Yeah, I was displaced out of my home for a week and worried that my home was going to be flooded and to clean up the damage. So yeah, no, it's to me
that sounds like, not that I'm like, it can't be the fasting, but to me that sounds like the culprit.
Yeah. I just didn't want to add the extra stress.
I would actually agree
right now.
I would actually agree, because it is a stressor. So if your tank is already beyond full, then yes.
But I'm still losing. It's just lower, but that's fine. I'm not gaining. So
good. Yeah. And with the life stress, are you at least on the other side of it?
I think so. Yeah, I'm still really tired, but I think that's just a residual of all the stress. But yeah, I haven't started working out again. I need to get back on that this week. So at least doing walks and that kind of stuff more. I'm active because I'm cleaning up debris and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to do a workout. I need to get back on that this week, I think.
Yeah. When do you think is realistic that you can start getting the exercise piece of the back end?
Probably this week. Like I said, I just have to see how I feel. If I have a day of no sleep, then obviously I'm not going to work out the next day, but I'm just trying to watch that kind of stuff so that I don't overdo and throw myself into an even bigger hole. So
For sure. You want to be cognizant of that stuff. And so that makes sense. Did you start those stress herbs, those adaptogenic herbs?
yeah, I had some at home already. So yeah, I started those. I just haven't been very diligent about taking them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
Do you have an AM supplement routine that you're diligent about, or that's been off too?
yeah, I do. I do. I just haven't been. I usually took those adaptogenic herbs in the evening. I guess I can add them to the morning too.
So mine is only for the morning because it's got ginseng in it. But if you have a pretty good dialed in supplement routine that you're not missing, then if you're adding a new supplement, in theory, you shouldn't miss it because you're putting it there with your other supplements.
Yeah.
So do you have a pill case that you're putting each for the day, or how do you
I have it like all up on the counter and stuff, and I have my morning ones on one end and my evening ones on the other end. Yeah, I guess I just haven't gotten used to pulling that bottle yet. So,
Yeah, let's grab that bottle. Let's throw
Yeah.
it there for the morning one so you don't miss
Yeah.
it. So it's there with your other ones because it's just there.
yeah,
That could make a huge impact. I'm not sure which adaptogenic herbs you have, but the ones I have that's a really magical product. Adaptocrin is one of the most popular products from that entire company and made them famous because it was the most powerful adaptogenic blend that I've ever seen. I've like many clinicians praise that product because of how powerful it is at helping bodies cope with a lot of stress.
Okay, I'll have to pull that one up again. I knew I had the rhodiola and the ashwagandha and stuff like that separately at home, and I was trying to use up what I had at home
For
just
sure.
because I
Yeah.
paid for them at one point. But yeah, I'll look at that one again and
What
see.
you
'Cause I
could
know-
what you could do is you could get a bottle of this, and then instead of doing 3 pills, you could do 2 pills and use some of the other one. That way you can make it last longer. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Like I said, it's just been nuts, and trying to order extra stuff right now was not on there. But like I said, everything's coming back together now.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. So for you moving forward, do you feel like you have a plan of attack right now? Do you feel like what can I do to help you more in the next several months of your journey? Because I know obviously you did.
like I said, I guess I don't know. Sometimes when I get stressed like that for a long extended period of time, I just have a hard time getting back up. My energy is just tanked.
Yeah.
So but like I said, I'll make more of an effort to do like workout type stuff versus just physical labor outside in the yard, because I'll have more time for that now. So
Yeah.
right now it was every chance I could get, it was outside cleaning up, trying to get the debris out of the way and burned and all that stuff. So
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
I think this week I'll be able to get back on that. So
Gotcha.
that'll probably help me feel better too. So
Good. Yeah, because you like basically get started and almost start for the first time. It sounds like after you get through this stuff. Okay. I would say then, Andrea, I think for you staying more in the kind of earlier, I probably wouldn't start adding. Are you still low carb right now with where?
yeah, no, I'm low carb, mostly meat based. So yeah, it's just low
Okay.
carb.
I would stay there for now just because it obviously, yeah, let's get a few more months of you low carb before we add carbs. Both Melissa and Sam, I think you guys are in the same space where you could start adding some carbs. Melissa, have you been low carb still, or have you already added carbs back in?
I haven't done any of the low carb
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
And I was still losing weight, so that's what I did reduce my carb intake. I would say, like, I was more portion controlling my carbs instead of completely eliminating it.
Yeah.
I was sticking more, like you said, Mediterranean. So I was trying to stick more to that. And so that's where I've been this whole journey.
So it's not, no human bodies are this robotic where like I give you guys protocols because I have to give you something to shoot for. You truthfully, Melissa, if that was a huge issue, you probably wouldn't have lost as good as you did. But then there is also the other piece of it that's a little bit different than just the weight loss, is how much could we have healed your insulin resistance? So the true test would tell once you're at your goal, if your body was just like rebounding really fast or something, then maybe we tighten it up and do 3 months of keto then. But I based how your body's responding, you're probably okay. I think maybe you were not as insulin resistant as a lot of other people in the beginning. So totally fine. That worked out. You felt good. Your body's changing in the right direction. So I'd say we're fine. Let's see here. So overall, you think you were more on like a moderate carb. You lowered it from what you were doing before. You just didn't go all the way to keto.
Definitely.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So peptides that you guys, AOD still works great, even when you're at your goal, but other peptides to consider. are the growth hormone peptides as well. So some people shift over from the fat loss peptides, specifically AOD, over to growth hormones, but they both still work. The difference is the growth hormone ones give a little bit more of, okay, now I might want to prioritize muscle mass, like building as well. But if you're still solidly like, no, I got some more fat to lose, you can still use AOD. And of course, you don't have to. These are just options to supercharge and enhance your results. Switching over to more of that moderate carb cycling, except Andrea, I think we'll go a couple more months for you with sticking with the low carb. Supplement protocols really don't change, other than maybe once you're off the GLP-1, magnesium doses can lower a little bit. I think a lot of you guys are still, all of you guys are still taking your GLP-1 right now. We're still, yeah.
I'm almost done with my second bottle. So.
Okay. What's your plan? Are you going to try to see how you can do without it? Are you thinking of continuing on a 2.5 dose? What's your thought?
Yeah, I think I was gonna just try to see how I did without it and see if I can do the prolonged fasting without the GLP-1s. And then if I can't, then maybe.
Yeah, remember, it's ultimately comes down to you, right? So and that's the benefit of staying connected, is giving me feedback. How's your body responding? What can we try? What can we tweak? The other options are tirzepatide, see how your body does. There's lower dosing too. You can go lower dosing. You can do lower dosing stacked with Mate Balance. Like, you have a lot of options. The key is, how much support do I need to continue to get the results and continue to implement the protocol? And obviously finances play a variable into that too as well. Fantastic. Does anybody have hormones is another thing? So I know, Andrea, you were mentioning hormones. Testosterone is, if you guys have never had testosterone levels checked, especially now that you've lost weight and you guys are moving in the right direction, getting hormones checked is also a piece of the equation, because one big thing that makes lasting weight loss a reality is focusing on not your attention off of weight loss and weight maintenance, but you start transitioning some of that attention off of the weight category, right? The fat loss category, and you start transitioning to optimizing health. Because when you achieve the fat loss, you're making massive improvements in your health, right? Insulin resistance, inflammation, but those things spill over into so many more categories. So like, you think back, okay, the 10 pillars that I talk about a lot, the 10 pillars of lasting weight loss. One of the best investments you can do for maintaining healthy weight is just focusing on optimizing health, right? And you can do it in sections in your life, right? Like, this month is going to be all about stress. This month's going to be all about inflammation. This month's going to be all about sleep. Like, the more and more you invest in those pillars, even if it's one at a time, the easier it becomes to your body to just automatically maintain a healthier weight. So this is called being proactive, right? This is preventative medicine. This is preventative health, is just focusing on these strategies. The top four that we always talk about is nutrition, weightlifting, the fasting, and then supplements. But stress and sleep still come into play. And if maybe we didn't pay as much attention to those in the beginning parts, we can start paying more attention to those pillars as we progress and move forward. Hormones is one of them. So getting them checked, seeing if you still have symptoms, potentially optimizing with hormone therapy if you think that's an area for improvement, which I would base it off of not labs, I would base it off of symptoms, right? So symptoms are an indicator of needing to optimize hormones, to me, more than just labs. So if you feel great and you don't have any of those symptoms for hormones, then don't worry about it. But if you have symptoms still, like you're like, okay, I feel better from losing weight, but I still have the category of symptoms, and I'll go through them really quickly for you guys just so you can hear them one more time and let us know. But the thyroid symptoms, this is similar to the weight loss plateau. So this is difficulty losing weight, brain fog, lower energy, constipation, hair loss, achy body, intolerance to cold, or dry skin. These are like the thyroid category. And then testosterone is, yeah, you have energy, you have brain fog, but then it differs and it gets more into anxiety, depression, motivation, sex drive, confidence, responsiveness to weight training, right? Those are more testosterone driven symptoms. And if you have half or more, that's potentially indicative of lower levels of testosterone. And optimizing that not only just handles those symptoms, but it also optimizes your health, and it works in congruency with the work that we did over here. So now when your body's insulin sensitive again, which we've all made improvements there, then number one, you don't need as much testosterone to feel better. Things work in harmony, and your overall health is massively improved overall, because there is harmony between all these different categories. It's just we can only do so much at one time. So that's the magic with sustaining weight loss, contributes to making it easier. Do you guys have any questions at all as far as individually or generally speaking? What's next?
Okay.
Yes.
When you up your carbs, what does that look like? Still 100, under 100?
It depends. Are you going to be doing a little bit more each day, or would you rather do more carb cycling?
I would do carb cycling if my workouts were like scattered through the week, but the way my schedule's working, I think it's going to be like 4 days in a row.
I'm totally okay with that. That's how I personally live my lifestyle. So I do my weight training, my heavy weight training Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Monday. So those are my carb days. And not that I don't work on the weekends, I work all the time, but I work less on the weekends. And that's why to me, it's like, that's more social, that's less work, that's more carbs, yada, yada, yada. During the week, that's when I'm doing less weight training. So therefore less carbs, more fasting, and I'm busy. So it's just easier, right? I'll do my mobility. I'll do those kind of less intense stuff during that part of the week. And I'm going to live that way for the rest of my life. And you guys don't have to live that way. You could do more of I'd rather have some carbs every day. If that makes you feel better, if you don't really have this sort of, I like to have more on the weekend and I'm okay with having less. That just comes natural to me, and it does to a lot of people, but you absolutely don't have to do that way. Although you could make an argument that my whole concept of fasting, feasting, and flourishing is a real thing that I think, not backed up by the research, but backed up by strong anecdotal observation, that I think the body does like that too as well. But I haven't made that a requirement if some people just really prefer to have some carbs on every day. But if you're having carbs every day, then you probably can't get away with high carbs days and moderate, right? But in the cycling, it's nice because if you do have a high carb day, it's like, okay, you're going to have some keto during the week to balance it off.
Doing a 48-hour fast, like I usually fast Sunday to Tuesday.
Okay. Sunday night to Tuesday night?
Sunday, like 1 p.m. so that it falls within my normal fasting schedule. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Throughout the week. But then that's basically you eat carbs every day and then you just fast. Because there's only 7 days.
So
I'm working out 4.
Right. So
and I usually on Sundays I'm usually pretty lax. If we go to brunch, I'm not like stressing about carbs because I know I'm going into a fast.
Yeah, so you wouldn't need to eat carbs that very last day. So you want carbs before, a little bit in your system before that first lifting session on that day. But on that very last day, especially because you're not in maintenance right now, so you do need to air the balance more towards fat loss. So we're going to have to cut a little bit. So maybe cut carbs that last day. So you're only getting 3 days of carbs, and you're going to burn up the carbs on that last lifting day, the carbs you already have in your liver and your muscles. So you're good. You won't feel weak, that muscle, and that'll actually deplete your carbs so that when you go straight into keto the next day, you're into fat burning faster. So we can play with it like that.
If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then you're going to want to check this one out. I get into a deep dive over GLP-1 medications, peptides, and lasting weight loss, guys. We'll see you later.